Hei sann! Velkommen til Eureka vitenskapsformidling og skeptiker på puben, sammen med Foreningen Skepsis, som har da blitt så heldig å få lov til å være en del av About Time Tour. Det stod selvfølgelig ikke bak meg, fordi vi skulle skru av prosjektoren. Vi har fått med oss 2 forelesere fra over dammen. Har alle fått noe å drikke? Det er ingen som savner noen eller noe sånt? Nei. Tom, savner du noen? Ja, han savnet en person. Vi blir delvis livestreamet via Susan sin Facebook-side, og så blir det lagt ut en video fra foredraget etter vi er ferdig. Så spre gjerne den videoen når vi legger den ut i lenker til venner og bekjente og folk som burde ha vært der. Og kanskje folk som ikke burde ha vært der. Og alle som burde sett det. Eller, ja, alle, egentlig. Så førstemann ut er Mark Edwards. Dette blir litt morsomt, for nå har vi prøvd å finne norske ord for det er for alle de engelske, sånn at de ikke skjønner noen ting av hva jeg sier. Jeg kan si hva som helst, de skjønner ingenting. Han skal holde et lite innlegg om tankefisking som overlevelsesteknikk. Ser jeg klarte faktisk å oversette cold reading. Takk, Marit. Etter Mark kommer Susan, and I of course forgot how do you want to spell your last name. Gerbic, yeah? Gerbic, yeah. Og hun skal prate om March for Science. Hva nå? Hva nå is now what? So, Mark Edwards.
Yes, thank you. Everybody. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Mark Edward, and I am a thought reader. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I can't possibly read your thoughts. And I've come here tonight, and I'm going to try and do that, okay? But I'm also going to share with you some other secrets. Now, we're on a very tight schedule, so I'm sort of the warm-up for Susan Gerbic. So, first of all, let me show you what I brought. I flew all the way from California, from Los Angeles, okay? And I got the new issue of GQ, you know, because I always like to be fashionable and know what people are wearing. So this is the new Robert Pattinson, remember him? He was in one of those vampire movies. Anyway, this is GQ. Now, if you know GQ, GQ has a lot of images and pictures. A lot of it has to do with fashion. A lot of it has to do with everything you can think of that you would buy in the fashion world. But there are also articles about fashion. The reason why I chose this magazine to read on the airplane is because visual, that's how a psychic likes to work. We like to get visual images. We can somehow tap into them from your mind. So I am going to try a little experiment to get the show going here by trying to get a visual image from somewhere in here and somebody's mind, but I need a mind to work with, okay? So are there any volunteers who would like to, oh, okay, such a warm group. Not a single hand has gone up. You know what, I was thinking the lady sitting right next to you in the red shirt on, would you mind helping? Let's bring her up with a round of applause, please. Help me out. And if you would just be careful, because there's no stairway here. Watch your step. I'll take your hand and give you a little hand here. How are you? Thank you so much for coming up. And we never met before, correct?
Correct.
We have not planned anything to fool everybody else, right? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Are you right or left-handed?
Right.
Okay, so you're going to take the magazine in your left hand. You're going to put it like that. And you're going to cradle it just a little bit, because with your right fingers, when I turn away over in that direction and get a sip from my drink, you're going to kind of ripple through these pages, and you're going to stop somewhere wherever you want, and you're going to open the magazine like this, and you're going to look at the page on the right, whatever is on the right, okay? And remember it. Yeah, and then you're going to close the magazine, and that's going to be your image. So it can be anywhere in the magazine. It's up to you. All right? So are you sure what to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so get your fingers ready there to do the walking, as we say, and you're just going to ripple through, open really quick, and close it really quick. And don't let anybody else see it, because you might think I'm getting some sort of a camera thing or something like that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so Lena, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, all right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stand over here. That is your name, isn't it?
Lena.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, open the magazine, look at the page on the right, then close it. 1, 2, 3, go.
Done.
You did it already?
Yeah.
Wow, she is really good. All right, now comes the hard part. Didn't even have a chance to get a drink. Now, if it was a page with a lot of print, like writing, we may have to do it again, but did you get a nice big image? You did. All right, so turn this, come a little closer over here. That's good. Now concentrate. Concentrate on the image so that you can see it. I'm getting glass and metal together in some way. Does that make sense? Yeah. Could be a lot of different things. If it's small, smaller. And I'm getting a sound like a tick, 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 tick. Did you look at a picture of a watch?
I did.
She did. Give her a round of applause. She did a wonderful job. Thank you, Lena, for helping me out. Lena, you spend a lot of time outdoors, do you? Yeah. See, stuff just comes to me, and I have to say it. I cannot always control it. It just bubbles up, and I just have to say it. So that's an example of what a mind reader or a psychic or a mentalist would do, okay? And I'm here, this tour that I'm doing is called the About Time Tour, because in America, we are fed up with lies. Because in America, lying has become an accepted business practice. Do I have to tell you who I'm talking about here? And we are fed up, those of us who are rational and critical thinkers. And particularly people who know how to lie professionally, okay? Because there's a difference. If you lie, if you say you're a psychic and you're into science, science knows that that is not possible, because if it was possible, our whole reality would be totally different. If I could know really what Lena was thinking, I'd be one of the most dangerous people on the planet, okay? Seriously, I wouldn't be up on a stage. I wouldn't be selling tickets for it. I wouldn't be doing psychic readings. I would be probably in a concrete bunker with my brain wired by the CIA or the NSA. This is the stupidity factor that we face in skepticism. Why can't people get that? It seems so simple to me, okay? But we have to go out on the road and remind people. I would love it if these things were real. And that's what I do as a mentalist, is I use the 5 senses, the known senses, to create the illusion of a 6th. Illusion is fine. We love it. It's storytelling. But if I tell somebody that I can talk to your dead grandmother, and I use your credit card information that you use to buy the seat for the show, and I go on Facebook and I find out that you just put up some pictures of baby clothes, and suddenly I say, this lady here in seat number 23, why am I getting pictures of baby clothes? It sounds miraculous. And even that person in the seat will say, wow, I just put pictures of baby clothes up on Facebook. So why I'm here and what I'm talking about, how many people are already familiar with cold reading? Good, so I don't have to explain it, okay? Because what I'm talking about is the evolution of cold reading, where cold reading has now become hot reading, which is, again, getting information about somebody. How am I doing on time? Got about 5 minutes? Okay, so the idea here is people need to wake up. We gladly go on Facebook, and we happily put up all of our information about each other, don't we? And we share all of our pictures and pictures of our family. We love it. So we've been kind of lulled into this misdirection. Magic is when you see something in this hand, learn to watch what the other hand's doing. We've forgotten about the other hand. We, at least in America, have no idea between what is real and what is fake. And that's what a magician does, is manipulate that middle ground. So what I'm here to talk about is basically cold reading has become a survival skill. Okay, it is no longer just the purview of entertainers or these people that you see on television that talk to dead people. It's not funny anymore. It's not an entertainment. It is now a survival skill. We need to understand the techniques of cold reading and how psychics work. So that's what I do as I go around. I talk about, my notes here are, I don't have enough time to go over them. But my point is, be skeptical, and I'm really glad that we were invited here tonight, because it's grassroots groups like you that go out and spread the word and get people to think. Because all I really do as a mentalist or as a magician is really, I just want people to think. That's all. I'm not trying to fool them for a political or other reason. I'm entertaining them. But if it jumps outside the entertainment field, which I believe it certainly has, in fact, I think a lot of people around the world have learned from the techniques of mediums and psychics over the years and are now applying those in sales, intuition courses, all this stuff that we see out in the world today. So that's pretty much my deal. I got more time. Well, I could try another experiment if you'd like to see one. Real quick experiment. What do you guys see this stuff every day at work or something? All right, let's try something a little different. I have right here a prediction. You know, psychics make predictions all the time. They go into a trance, or they use astrology, and oh man, they work on it. They work for days, and then they seal it in an envelope and they set it on the table like this, right? So the newspaper people can see it the whole time. All right. So I need another mind to work with. I hope some of you still have that. I know some of you have been drinking, so I'm taking a big chance with this drinking crowd. Anybody feel like? All right, let's do it this way. If I asked you to think of a number between 1 and 10, and I had written it down and sealed it in that envelope before I even came here tonight, would you be impressed? Good, I'm glad you're shaking your head. Big deal, right? 1 in 10. What are the odds? 1 in 10. People might think, people always think of lucky 7 or the number 3. It's not that great, right? So, and I'm glad you shook your head, sir. I'm glad that you are paying close attention. If I asked someone in the audience, a random person, to think of a number between 1 and 100, and I had sealed it in that envelope over there before I left for the show tonight, would you be impressed by that? Few more nods, yeah. But for this group, I can see I'm going to have to go the limit. If I, before I left the hotel, went into a deep trance, very deep. See, I'm starting to talk like Trump. I can do this. I've got all the numbers. A con artist is somebody who can do this. I can do this. If I asked you to think of a number between 1 and 1,000, and that number was sealed in that envelope, would you be impressed? Come on, I would. What's the matter with you guys? 1 and 1,000. It can be a 1, 2, or 3-digit number. So somebody in this audience, I'm going to give you the chance by the end of this, you get to decide, did I predict this number, or did I somehow, using telepathy, influence one of you to think of a specific number? Did anybody get a number that just jumped right into their head right away? You did? But see, you're working on the show. They might think we set something up. I want a random stranger. How about this lady who's lifting her glass? Or is that a gentleman? Yes? Did you? I'm sorry, I can't see that far back. Did you think of a number, sir? Oh, it is a woman. I'm sorry. You did? You saw it right away, right? You saw a number right away? And you didn't change it? Good. I'm going to go with her thought. Is that okay with everybody? And we didn't plan anything, did we? I can't change anything. I'm either right or wrong. And if I get this right, it could be, the luckiest coincidence of my entire life. And you were here to witness it. If I get it wrong, we'll just chalk it up to psychic research, like psychics do, right? I can't lose. And your name is? Miriam. When I snap my fingers, I need everybody to witness this. Will you name the number nice and loud? 1, 2, 3. 823. That is amazing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good, isn't it? See how easy this is? No, I wouldn't do that. Miriam, would you mind joining me on the stage? Give her a round of applause for coming up. And by the way, did anyone else think of the number 823? Yeah, what are the chances? Well, actually, let's ask the audience. What are the odds that I could know the number 823? Does anybody know? 1 out of 1,000. That's where we're going with this. All right, so I'm going to just fold the letter like this, okay, so that you can step a little forward. Let the suspense build a little bit. Unseal the envelope. Down inside is a card. Down in there. Go ahead, take it out. And if you would read what I wrote on that card so everyone can hear it, go ahead. I predict.
That I would choose the number 823.
And there it is. You can show it to everybody. Thank you, Miriam, for helping out. Okay. So, you see, these things can be done. And remember, the next time somebody sees a psychic and they say to you, there is no way in the world that person could have known that about me. Remember what you saw tonight. Okay? Thank you. Now I'm going to bring up Susan Gerbic. She's going to show you some ways to get involved in another grassroots movement that has really taken the skeptic world by storm. She is out there doing it. We like to think of ourselves as activists. You can be active too. Give it up for Susan Gerbic. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How about I just bring back a little bit? Oops, I can do this. Am I in the camera frame now? Actually, I need to have this over here so I can see the. Can you make it so that it does the notes so I can see my notes on here? Don't look, don't look. It's not my laptop. My laptop is American, and it's got a weird USB thing. So hit slideshow. Oh, that's all in Norwegian. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you want to hit something that says start slideshow or something like that. That's what I want. Right, okay. Good, so I can see it and you can't. Okay, good. Excellent. Am I still in the camera frame? Okay. Is that okay? So in April of 2017, William Shatner, better known as Captain Kirk from the original Star Trek series, tweeted in support of Autism Awareness Month. Knowingly, or possibly unknowingly, Shatner was unaware of the controversy of Autism Speaks. Many people in the autism community say that Autism Speaks is anti-autism. Others point to promotion of anti-vax ideals, and this was politely pointed out to William Shatner. And I put a picture of it there in case there are some people in the audience that didn't know exactly who William Shatner was. This all happened on Twitter. Here, I'm going to move this for a second so I can look at you guys better. You guys are friendly. This all happened on Twitter. So you know what happened next. Can you see okay? Oh, that probably doesn't work well. Is that okay? Okay, so Shatner doubled down and was attacked and returned, and it got really ugly really quickly. So David Gorski, who is an oncologist in the skeptic community, you can read him on skeptic blogs, science-based medicine. Does anybody know who David Gorski is? He's quite prolific in the skeptic community. He writes under the name of Orak. He tried to explain to William Shatner the controversy that the autism community has with Autism Speaks. So Shatner decided to Google David Gorski. And where to go? Hold on. It's different. So this Slate article by William Levinowitz, Alan Levinowitz, soon appeared and sums up the entire mess with these two statements. A crank website can capture the mind of a celebrity with 2.5 million followers and discredit one of the most reliable sites on the internet. For shame. Because William Shatner found a lot of hate sites against David Gorski, saying that he wasn't a reputable person, saying that he was big pharma, those kinds of things. That's what the kind of things he found whenever he was looking at the normal articles. Okay. You can't understand the depth of the current chaos until you see William Shatner tweeting a site friendly to Health Ranger or Mike Adams, Natural News. I don't know if you've heard of Natural News, but it's a big site that sells vitamins, homeopathic products, and so on. It's huge. So we have a problem. This exchange not only sums up the problem with William Shatner himself personally, but why, when the majority of the evidence is on the side of science and reason, why are we having trouble getting the information that we have? We already understand. Why are we having trouble getting it beyond the choir? So people like William Shatner and others can find that information and learn it. So you guys did the March for Science, right? Okay. So hands up anybody who attended. Right. Okay. Some people probably watched it online and things like that too, I hope. So it was huge in America. Huge, we say. Oh my God, we can't even, he's taken over our words. So this is a photo I took. I run Monterey County Skeptics in California. And this is the picture I took. And did anybody else go as woodpeckers? No? Right over there? You, woodpecker? Okay. So I just love this photo. I've used it on Wikipedia, actually. I love it because look at this little guy with his little red socks, one longer than the other. And he's just so excited with his little pink hat. He's like his first protest. He's so into it. Just kind of, this one over here, he's kind of like, oh man, I'm wearing a woodpecker outfit. But it just kind of summed it up for me anyway. So I love this. So now we're all jazzed up. We did the March for Science. Everybody's excited. Now what? Right? So we're jazzed up. We're ready to go. But where are we going to go? And what are we going to do? So I'm going to offer you a solution. So I am Susan Gerbic. I'm the leader and founder of a group called Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia. We use the acronym GSOW. So you might hear me say that. We are a Wikipedia editing team working to improve, rewrite, create, and support Wikipedia pages associated with scientific skepticism. We work on pages concerned with the paranormal, alternative med, science, our history, and we want to have the backs of all those people who are out there doing the work. The people who are doing the podcasting, the writing, the speaking out at conferences, the people who are on the streets doing activism like the Mark Edwards. So now, to be fair, William Shatner is a famous celebrity, but really he's just a guy, right? He's a guy with 2.5 million Twitter followers, but essentially he really is just a guy. We can't expect him to understand the controversy of Autism Speaks. We, and when I say we, I mean we, all of us, we need to do a better job of leaving good information in places where people can find it. Written in languages people can read, and written for the non-academic. Shatner did a Google search for David Gorski and found only negative sites. We do not know why Shatner did not look at the Wikipedia article for David Gorski. It had to be one of the first hits whenever he was Googling David Gorski. The Wikipedia page had to be one of the first ones that came in there. We don't know. Maybe he thought that Wikipedia is discredited and he didn't even look at the link. Or possibly he thought that only the top page view, the top links were the important ones, which would have been the negative sites possibly. Or maybe, as this tweet suggests, is that William Shatner has been looking at a lot of anti-vax pages, and that's why the Google searches made those links more prominent than a Wikipedia page for David Gorski. So we don't know. Maybe his search history had caused that to happen. So these are the page view stats for that period. I hope you can see this okay. Yeah, it's kind of a light blue. That's just the way it gives it to me when I look at stats. So GSOW, my project, the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia project, created this Wikipedia page for David Gorski in 2013. And since we created it in 2013, it's received 63,750 page views. He averages about 100 page views a day. And as you can see, on April 8th, right around there, 7th, 8th, 9th, the David Gorski Wikipedia page hit 400 page views. So somebody was actually looking, whenever he's having this tweet exchange with William Shatner, some people did actually Google him and find his Wikipedia page. So it's not thousands, but it's hundreds, and it's what we can do. So this is his normal average, about 100 page views a day. And then for a few days, you can see the stats for his Wikipedia page were elevated. So it's important to make sure that whenever somebody is being Googled or they're in the media's eye, that their Wikipedia page is well written. And we knew this one was well written because we wrote it. So the goals of GSOW are many and grandiose, maybe even idealistic. Not only are we attempting to rewrite Wikipedia concerning scientific skepticism, the paranormal, and have the backs of the people who are actually doing the work, and that we're trying to do this in all languages possible. I do not currently have any Norwegian editors, just saying. I have many other languages, but no Norwegians, which is why I'm in Norway. Okay, so as far as things to do, we probably have thousands of pages that need to be worked on, and I don't even really want to know the amount because it might just set me off and say there's no way I'm going to ever hit 10,000 pages. But my goal is to grow our community. We want to find, motivate, train, and support people and projects that are trying to educate outside of the skeptic choir. Some people stay with GSOW, and some people move on to do other things once they've learned more about the community and about activism. So how many people here have heard of the Brzezinski Clinic? Oh, that's wonderful. Bob Blaskowitz, if you're watching this, we've got like 10 hands up in the air. That's terrific. I'm very, very impressed. So this is a cancer quack, I can say that, I guess, on public. This is a man who has a clinic in Houston, Texas, and it wasn't flooded. We were asking that question, yes. His home got a little flooding, but his mansion got a little flooding in the driveway, but the clinic remained open. So it's not really important that you need to know exactly who the Brzezinski Clinic is. Let me just tell you, it is a cancer quack that's quite popular, and the skeptic community has done a lot of work to try to raise awareness of this person who, at least at the beginning, was treating cancer with something called anti-neoplastines, which is urine that he had refined. Now I think he's using something else. But anyway, so David Gorski, the person I mentioned earlier, and another man named Bob Blaskowitz have done a lot of work trying to get this into the skeptics world so we know who he is. So we felt that we need to make sure the Wikipedia page is in really good shape, because we're not writing Wikipedia pages for you all. We're writing it for those people who are trying to get information from somewhere else, that are, they're desperate. Their child is dying of stage 4 cancer. They're being told that somebody has a cure for them in Houston, Texas. It's just going to cost you a lot of money. Come to our clinic. We have a huge, high successful rate of 80% or something like that. That's what they say. It's not. It's more like 8%, something like that, if even that. But we wanted to make sure the Wikipedia page is well written. GSOW did not write the English page. We have maintained it. We have kept it up. We have made sure we had their back to keep this page in good shape. And let me tell you, people have tried to change it. And I also want to be very clear. The GSOW does not have all skeptics. I should say this. We're not the whole skeptic world. There are a lot of editors. In fact, most editors who edit Wikipedia are skeptics, even if they don't identify as being skeptics, because you have to have citations. There are certain rules you have to follow, and they're really the rules of skepticism. Citation needed, and then the citation that they have to put on the page has to be something that is notable. It has to be something that, you just can't put anything up. You can't put a blog up or something like that. So if the rules of, if the normal editors of Wikipedia did not exist, then Wikipedia would turn into Conservapedia, just like within a month, because there's a lot of people working on this. I only have about 90 people working on it with me. So the Brzezinski Clinic is located in Houston, Texas, as I said, and it attracts people from all over the world. We felt that we need to get the page translated into other languages, because they are getting people from all over. And this page right here you're seeing is in Dutch. And it gets about 6,000, right now since we wrote it, translated, it's about 6,800 views. So it gets about 25 views a day. 25 views a day. We have it in German also, and that German page has received about 5,000 page views already. So then we had written it in Portuguese, which is about 4,000 page views, and then into Italian. And let's see who knows who this person is. This is the reason why we had to translate it into Italian. Anybody know who that is? Fabio, yes, Fabio. I can't believe it's not butter. So that's really dating me, but yeah, he's back in the days. And so Fabio is a giant Brzezinski supporter. His sister had stage 4 cancer, and she went to go see. He brought her over to Houston, Texas, and she died after a few weeks, not because of the treatment, but because her cancer was so far along, she died. So we didn't know if possibly Fabio was going to go out onto the media and start, talking it up in Italy, and we didn't know. So we wanted to get the Wikipedia page written in Italian so that if he does any kind of media in support of Brzezinski, the people reading about it will be able to read about it in their own language. We thought that was really important. So also we the Wikipedia page in Italian has received a little over 2,000 page views, so not a lot, but we're ready for them if they do. So we've also written it in Polish, and we decided it was really important to write it in Polish because Brzezinski is Polish, and so he's considered like a hero in a lot of people's eyes over in Poland. And that Polish page has already received 28,000 page views. So you heard me say some other numbers like 5,000, 6,000, 4,000, 3,000. The Polish page in the same amount of time has already attracted about 28,000 page views. So we know people are going to that Wikipedia page. In English, we know that the Wikipedia page is being accessed hundreds of thousands of times over time. So probably, I think, 500 page views a day. So people are wanting to know who this Brzezinski person is. They're going to the page, they're reading about it, finding out that the scientific community says he's a quack, and hopefully they're leaving the Wikipedia page with a lot more information. Or if they do decide to go through treatment with Brzezinski, at least they have more information and they can see the red flags, and they possibly will get turned around and maybe try conventional treatment or whatever is needed. But Brzezinski is definitely not the way to do it. So, this is Tyler Henry. You don't need to know who he is. He's brand new to the world of psychic mediumship. So in January of 2016, a TV network in America called E, with an exclamation point after it, E! They picked him up from a small psychic shop and gave him a reality show. It's now on its 3rd season, which is really amazing. So outside of the GSOW project, there are a lot of people who would be absolutely floored, could not believe that I run a Wikipedia editing team, because I'm really known for my work in the psychic world. With Mark Edward, we do a lot of different kinds of activism in psychics, stings and so on. And so they would be surprised I'm doing this. So I specialize more or less in researching and writing about people who are what we call, Mark has coined the term, grief vampires. So if you're interested in that, finding out more about that, you just Google Susan Gerbic and the word psychic, and you will see a lot of the stuff I've written. Oops, I went the wrong direction, sorry. So here's Tyler with one of our favorite people, Dr. Phil. You guys all follow Dr. Phil, you never miss him, right? Okay. So I've written about 8 articles on Tyler Henry for Skeptical Inquirer, which is where I write and publish, and I have another one coming out any day now. It's called, I'm told it's going to be called, Did Tyler Henry Kill Alan Thicke? And that's what it's going to be called. So we're going to hopefully get some views. I'm considered the chief critic for Tyler Henry because I write about him quite a bit, and he's brand new. So what we've done is not we, but somebody wrote a Wikipedia page for Tyler Henry, and somebody wrote a Wikipedia page for Susan Gerbic. So I'm going to talk about Susan Gerbic in the 3rd person. And because I have the Susan Gerbic page exists, now we're able to use things that I write and put it onto the Tyler Henry Wikipedia page as kind of a control. You can see how this works. So here's the page views for Tyler Henry. So this shows a few peaks. This is over time. You can see a lot of peaks in views right here, up to 14,000 page views in one day, and down, and then it lulls, and then here's another peak, and then it lulls, and then here's some more peaks. Now, these are page views. Now, we only know that somebody's accessing the Wikipedia page. We do not know if they're spending a lot of time on the Wikipedia page. We do not know if they're your unique viewers. We only know that they visited the Wikipedia page. That's all we can tell as far as stats right now. So I guess you guys got it figured out. This corresponds to whenever the hype was really big when he first started out. And this is season 2. And over here is where you're starting to see maybe specials run on the network showing season 3 promotions. Okay, everybody got that? So on a normal day, he's probably hitting about 1,500 page views a day. That's a lot when you think about it. So his Wikipedia page, since I last looked, has about 800,000 page views. 800,000 is a lot. Anybody here would love to have 800,000 page views to something in about 18 months of time. But as Mark said, if this guy really could speak to the dead and communicate to the dead, 800,000 page views would be a day. It wouldn't be over a period of time with a TV show pushing it. If he was speaking to the dead, he would be the most important person in ever. So I am the most visual critic of Tyler Henry. So here are the Wikipedia page views for Susan Gerbic's Wikipedia page. And you can see, here's a spike, here's another spike, and then here's the other spikes starting. Remember, there was 2 over here towards the end. This is the same time period that we're looking at with the Tyler Henry. Now, I want to point out, these are not thousands of page views. This is 450, this is 250, this is 400 page views, 400 page views. The Wikipedia page for Susan Gerbic is about 50 page views a day. So not huge amounts. It's still better than a lot of people who are just like myself. I'm not famous outside of the science or the skeptic community. Nobody is calling me from Oprah or anything like that. Does anybody here like stats? Do you guys notice anything odd about these stats? Anybody saw it? There's a couple little anomalies there. Anybody want to see it or say it? No? Can you see right here? That's a dip. Do you see that dip? Look at this dip over here. What do you think causes dips? Okay, now let's compare the Wikipedia page views of Tyler's and Gerbic's. And you can see, look at this. Here are corresponding, up. Everything's the same. I mean, look at these two little towers right here, two little towers there. One big jump there, one big jump there. One big jump here, one big jump. Everything is corresponding. So it's pretty obvious that a person is visiting the Tyler Henry Wikipedia page and then clicking on the chief critic's Wikipedia page. Again, it's not thousands of views. These are thousands of views here in blue. That's Tyler Henry's views. These are hundreds of views. But do you see the dips here and here? What do you think? What do you think causes that? Because it's not corresponding with Tyler. Look. Anybody have a clue? Editing of? Yeah. So what they did is somebody came in and removed the criticism section on Tyler Henry's Wikipedia page. And then within a few days, it was noticed and put back in. So the perfect thing about my page, it doesn't get a lot of page views. I'm not, like I said, I'm not known for anything other than being a critic of psychics. And really, the psychic I'm most critical of is Tyler Henry. So I'm kind of a control. My page views should be a steady, normal, maybe 50 page views a day. Maybe if I'm doing a lecture to some group like you guys, maybe 10 of you guys will look at my Wikipedia page just out of curiosity. And it'll spike a little bit, but mine should be just pretty just normal all the way across. But you can see that this is happening is when somebody has criticism on a Wikipedia page, it is fluctuating with theirs. So we really need to make sure that there is criticism on Wikipedia pages, because if not, people aren't getting the information. So I have one more story. Maybe two. So in August of 2016, the U.S. swim team, do you guys remember this thing called the Olympics? They showed up with cupping marks all over their bodies, those big red hickey things. That's my sound for hickey things on people's bodies. So it led the media and the public frantically to start wanting to know more about what these big circle things are on the swim team. And the media called in cupping practitioners who demonstrated how cupping works, in italics. People started looking for information, and many found the Wikipedia page. So essentially, the lead is the very top part of a Wikipedia page. This is usually all people read, is just that. It's only people who are really interested to be in depth, to read more about the whatever it is. So before the Olympics, this lead, in essence, said, if you were to put it down to some, just like a sentence, cupping is old and it works. So that's not probably something we want people to know, right? So once the Olympics came out and they started putting people in the media and they're calling up these people on the phone saying, hey, come out and do, practice cupping on us. They said, and they brought people in to lay them on the thing and do the little cupping on them and stuff like that. We as GSOW and the skeptic world and Wikipedia editors realized that this was happening. We went over to the Wikipedia page and we changed it. And now it says cupping works. Cupping does work. Cupping is old, it does not work, and it may harm you. That's what the Wikipedia page says now. At least it does in English. So in one day, look at the cupping things. This is just the media. This is getting about 1,800 page views a day. And in one day, it hits 106,000 page views in English. 106,000 page views. That's how many times people were just Googling it, found the Wikipedia page, and were getting there. So it started to taper off over a few days. But look at this. That's like 300,000 page views over a week's time. So what I'm trying to say to you guys, if you haven't got it yet, is that we have to have these Wikipedia pages under control. We must make sure that they are well written with great citations, written in plain, readable English or whatever language. It needs to be readable, and it needs to say concisely at the very top what it's about. So the person coming in goes, oh, cupping is something that may harm me. It does not work. It's a pseudoscience. It's a placebo. And the Olympic team is using it for whatever reason they're using it, but it does not work. And then leave and move on to the rest of their life and go look up pages on butterflies or rock stars or whatever it is they're going to do. But we need to make sure that they have it. The other reason why we have to make sure these Wikipedia pages are in terrific shape is because the media is learning about cupping at the same time the world is. And they're going, oh my gosh, what's this cupping thing? Oh my gosh, NBC's doing a thing on cupping. Oh, CNN. And they're all looking at each other. Oh, we better get somebody on really quick. Hurry, 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 hurry. Who do we call? Ghostbusters, right? Yeah, okay. The Skeptic Busters or whatever, the Woo Busters. They got to call somebody. So they don't know who to call. But if they go to the Wikipedia page, and I assure you the media is going to the Wikipedia page, it's just like everybody else. They go to the Wikipedia page and they need to have some critics on there that they can call. They need to say, this person right here is well written. They've done other lectures. They have a nice photo on their page. They have a Wikipedia page. They're notable and they've been writing about cupping and I can understand this thing. And look, let's contact them. So we have to have people on those Wikipedia pages so the media can react, right? So GSOW as well as others, Wikipedia editors rushed over to the cupping page and made sure that we put criticism on there. Notable criticism, by the way. We are not putting anything on there that is not scientifically vetted, through and notable people. So we added a few. Here are a few that are mentioned on there. Edward Ernst, Harriet Hall, Simon Singh, and Mark Crispet are the four that I just picked out of the blue here. There are more people mentioned on the page, at least last I checked. And if you look, I put their little stats up here. Each one of these had that same spike. See? On that same day that it was in the media. Again, this isn't thousands of page views. These are maybe 100 or 200 page views. But these are people, like this one has 700 page views for Edward Ernst. For Harriet Hall, there's 200 page views. For Simon Singh, he's had some spikes, but he's been in the news for a lot of other things as well. But he had a page view spike here. And for Mark Crispet, that's 120 page views. So people are accessing the cupping page and then looking at the Wikipedia page for the person who's the critics that are on the page. Again, this is evidence that this is important. So we have evidence on our side, right? We know what works and doesn't work. And we know this because we are able to test it scientifically and so on. But unless we find creative ways to get this information on places where people are going to find it and in languages they understand and written in a way that it's readable and interesting, then we're always going to be fighting against fake news and celebrities on Twitter and Facebook and social media. And we are a small percentage. Again, I'm talking about you guys. We're a small percentage of the population that cares about this kind of stuff. So we need a bigger proportion to step up. So now GSOW is a big task. It's self-paced. It's online. You do it with a trainer, a person who trains you one-on-one at the speed that you want to go at. It is in a secret cabal on Facebook. And yes, we are called a secret cabal on Facebook. You cannot join it. You have to come through us, and then we will put you in there with like-minded skeptics all over the world, speaking many languages. And we are talking about how to improve these Wikipedia pages. There's a little over 90 of us right at the moment. So this is the very, very last thing. Who has heard of this man? Stanley Plotkin. Nobody's heard of him. I hadn't either. One of my editors decided to rewrite this page because it was sitting on one of our to-do lists, and our to-do lists are massive. So he picked this off of the Wikipedia our list, and this man may have even saved the life of somebody in this room. So he was on the team, and one of the very most instrumental people on the team for creating the vaccine for rubella, German measles. Also the MMR vaccine, also rabies. And he's also instrumental in a rotavirus, which is like a diarrhea kind of thing. So this man had a lot to do with creating these vaccines. So we rewrote the Wikipedia page. We decided we were going to rewrite it. What you're looking at now is the current Wikipedia page. And you can see here, there's a lot of Wikipedia page for this guy, but right now we're at, 23 citations. Until he rewrote this page, which was just rewritten maybe a month ago, here's what the page looked like. We call this a non-scroller. In other words, you do not have to even scroll to read the entire page. It is completely, that's it. 5 citations? It's really embarrassing. This is a man who saved millions of lives and will continue to save millions of lives. We do not know who his name is. We don't know anything about him. But I bet you an awful lot of people know who Kim Kardashian is and what brand of shoes she wears and who the celebrities are and what some sports hero is doing. But those are the people who should not be in the news. We should know the names of people like Stanley Plotkin. We should know the names of all these people. These are our heroes. These are the people who represent us. These are our people. And we are not respecting them by allowing them to have crappy, just horrible, embarrassing Wikipedia pages. They can't change those pages. There's no they. It's just us. Only us. Only we can do this kind of thing. The people like you I'm talking to and the other people I'm going to continue talking to on tour and the others that I talk to all the time. So we wrote to this man after we wrote his Wikipedia page, and I'm just going to share with you what he said. He said, I'm flattered you undertook this, especially as I approach the end of my career and ask myself whether or not I have accomplished anything. I'm just going to let that sink in a minute. This man is now close to 80. He's still working. And he is starting to think, did I do anything in my life? Did I accomplish anything? Am I forgotten? Does anybody even care? Yeah. 2 minutes? 1 minute? Okay. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that this is an important project. What we're trying to do is we're trying to improve Wikipedia. We're trying to have the backs of people like this so we can know who they are. Okay. That's it. That's it. I want you to know that some of the notes that I have on my screen are now in Norwegian. So I was kind of going through my notes going, that doesn't look right. That's in Norwegian. It says Kirk for a lege till note something. I have no idea what that says right now, but that's what my notes are saying right now. Yes.
Two things. First of all, I'm just writing a letter on rotavirus, and the numbers I came up with is 465,000 people dead, children dead, a year, and he wonders if he accomplished anything.
Right. He wonders if he's accomplished anything. When we wrote, and
That is just what in Norway is actually.
how many people?
In Norway, they registered last time in 1996. I think there was 200 people hospitalized because of the coronavirus, and then it's just stopped because they think that there was a lot more. But on world basis, there's dying over 400,000 children a year because of coronavirus, because it's especially dangerous for your kidneys because of dehydration.
And he does wonder if he was forgotten because we don't know his name and nobody has ever contacted him. His Wikipedia page looked like that crappy 5 citation thing for years. He had no idea. And then we contacted him and said, we've done this. And a lot of times we contact him, we want him just to look over it really quick to make sure we haven't made any major glaring mistakes. And we do that all the time. And it's really amazing. And it's really sad that he thought he was forgotten. But we do hear that all the time. So, yes, Mark? High note? Okay, so let me tell you something really, really nice. Okay, so let me mention this really quick. We have our GSOW project has been working on for a few years, and we keep track of how many pages we've edited. And when I say edited, I'm only meaning pages that we have completely rewritten or created. And we're not putting out stubs. We're not putting out like a few paragraphs. When we write a page, it is elaborate, 20 citations or more. So we keep track of how many pages we've done, and we're already at 450. or more, because I'm been on the road a few days and already I'm hearing that they're still working on more stuff that, I don't have to have anything to do with it. But when we look at the page views of how many times those pages have been viewed, when I left a couple days ago, we were just a few thousand away from hitting 14 million page views. So we're trying to really change the world one Wikipedia page at a time, and we're really looking for editors. And you do not have to have any training whatsoever. You do have to be on Facebook, because you have to join the secret cabal. You have to be able to commit to helping us out once we train you. And it is online and self-paced. So Mark, do you want to come up here and see if anybody has questions for Mark or myself?
Let's just do it like this, because we don't want to go on too long.
I could stay here all night. I came all the way from California to talk to you guys.
So let's just take
Whatever, just
any questions about what either of us do that we can answer. Good, no questions.
questions.
Explain my trick.
It's a trick.
I've been in magic since I was a little boy, and I learned one thing, and that we have two things in the world. We have illusion and we have disillusion. Which do you prefer? In other words, if I explain to you what I did, I will tell you this. God, I keep sounding like Trump. I can tell you this. And I use my hands, my little hands. No. I can tell you this, that everything I did is in a book somewhere. So, and now, one of the things that's going on with magic is everything is on the internet. Everything. I mean, we used to have all these people who get all butthurt, I think I can say that word, and about secrets being given away. They'd be like, oh, he gave this magic secret away. It's all on the internet. All you have to do is look for what you just take the effect that you saw, keywords, and put it in, and you'll get 10 entries for how the trick works. But which effect are you talking about? And maybe I can give you a hint. Both were nice? The point is to try and, it's storytelling. And the effect, or the actual way that the way I do it now, the actual method is nothing. It is so simple that if I told you, you'd go, oh.
We don't want you to go,
and we don't want you to go, If I'm teaching magic, if somebody hires me to teach them magic, I call it the aha moment, which is where I will do something, and then I will ask the students, I'll say, okay, what are the possible ways this could have been done? And you cannot believe the complex things people come up with. And now we have all these electronics things. People are way into all this. And then when I explain it, then they go, oh. So I would rather, my point, I guess the bottom line is, if you really want to know, you can find it. But I don't think it's up to me, because I want you to remember me for the wonderment of what you saw and not for the trick. Because if I tell you the trick, you'll forget about it. But I want you to go away scarred for life. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay, good.
Any other questions? Yes, Christopher.
Do you often
Do I often?
do you often get your pages that you edit back?
Oh, how often is vandalism done on the Wikipedia pages we create?
Yeah.
Almost never. The paranormal community does not follow rules very well. They don't really understand what evidence is, and they get very frustrated that we're doing this. And one of the reasons why I have a Wikipedia page is because I have notable critics. The people who really, really do not like Susan Gerbic are people like Deepak Chopra, Rupert Sheldrake. Natural News has written about me several times. That's that Mike Adams person. The Brzezinski Clinic, all these places are very anti-Susan Gerbic, or guerrilla skeptics, they call us. And the Secret Cabal, that's why we changed our name to the Secret Cabal, because, they called us that all the time, so might as well. And they're not organized. They leave. They have disappeared and said, "Oh, we're going to create our own Wikipedia." Right. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, fine. That's great. Go do that. We'll just be over here on the real Wikipedia while you get your 12 views. No, we almost have no vandalism. Almost, and almost no reverts. People come in and they correct the articles. We're happy with that. We create an article and somebody comes in and says that, they change the spelling or whatever, and we're more than happy with that. There was a question right over here.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had asked like this, do you or any like the podcaster to ask people to join?
Right. Do we do podcasts? I just did one just this afternoon, right? On yours. So that will be up in a few days. And I am on Skepticality. I don't know if you've heard of Skepticality, which is the oldest skeptic podcast. It's obviously in English. Skepticality. No? Nobody recognizes it. But I'm on that. It's not been out as often lately as it should, but I've been on it for a few years. And I talk about Wikipedia editing all the time and also about psychics and some of the things we've done with the grief vampires. And I've been on the SGU. I've been on Skeptic Zone many times. ESP, the European Skeptic podcast. I've been on that twice at least. I've been on many podcasts. But yeah, I love podcasts. That is the new medium. I love them. There was a question right over here. I thought I saw. No, where did I see it? I've forgotten already. Okay. No?
I have one last question.
He has a question? 42. No, what? Oh, of the audience?
I just want to show you how something that can be right in front of you receives no attention at all. Do you know what that is that happened here tonight? So that you'll be a little more aware of what subtle things can happen, and we don't question it because we're so used to seeing it. You know where I'm going with this? Or yeah, because Norwegians are very polite. We've heard that. Go ahead.
He's got it.
Yeah, the stethoscope. So I was going to say, not one person has asked, why are you wearing a stethoscope? And I learned this. It is a gimmick, but the gimmick is I learned it from another mentalist, and he always wears a stethoscope. But he says 95% of the time, well, you're skeptic. See, you were thinking, the gentleman in the back was thinking, but he'll wear it and he'll do his whole show and nobody ever notices it. So it's a silly thing, but I just do it just for, because I got to have some fun with this job.
It gives
right?
you authority too. It makes it look
Yeah,
like
it does. It does give you authority, and people assume, but they won't say anything. So anyway, we really want to thank you for coming out and seeing us, and check us out. We're both on the internet, and my webpage is absolutely the best. Yes. Yes. Rhetoric, facts are not important. Good, very good question.
Edit Wikipedia.
Well, no, I have another thing. It's in my notes, but I didn't really get to it. Okay, part of the reason why we're seeing alternative facts is because, I wish I could think of the term, because if you can tell a lie and make it entertaining, okay, if you can teach people a fact but make it entertaining, which is sort of what magic does, but I don't give the secret away. If I was teaching, I would. But the point is, I think we have to make our facts, and I hate this, but it really is true, at least in America, we have to make it fun and entertaining. That's why when I teach my magic class, I say that all magic is science, but not all science is magic. So I want kids and adults to realize that everything you see is a manipulation, or it's a non-fact, because that's what advertising is. Advertising is a lie. My father was in advertising, okay? And I know from growing up as a kid, he would take a lie as far as he could take it until it would become a legal matter, okay? And that's what advertising is. And so much of that goes on where the facts that we're supposed to really learn don't matter anymore. But if an advertisement is really good, like the Super Bowl ads, look at those. They pay billions of dollars for them, and they're really entertaining. So to answer your question, and I don't like to answer it this way, but we have to make facts more palatable, because most people think of facts like what Susan showed, which are graphs and pie graphs, and it has this connotation of school or learning or something that we don't enjoy looking at. But luckily in America, we're starting to see things like there's a show called Brain Games. I don't know if anybody's seen that yet. Google that. There's Brain Games. There are Adam Ruins Everything, which is about this guy who he'll go into it's dramatizations. There'll be a crazy urban myth or something, and what he'll do is they'll be talking about it and going, oh yeah, UFOs are real, and then he photobombs in and he goes, no, this is not real. And the great thing about Adam Ruins Everything is at the top of each one of the stories, they're cited for where the information came from. See, that's another thing. But it's very entertaining because it's kind of watching this sort of goofy Pee Wee Herman character bombing into a situation and saying, that's not really what's going on. And then like with Wikipedia on the top of the screen, when he makes a statement, it shows what peer-reviewed, medical magazine that comes from. So I guess I'm saying if it's palatable and it's fun to watch, that's the world we live in, If it's too factual, people are at the point now where they don't believe it. So it's a tough thing, but there are people out there who are doing that, and I'm really happy to say I just did the Halloween show for Adam Ruins Everything, where they take down psychics in a big way, and it's hilarious. It's funny, it's facts, and they handle it really well. So there's opportunities out there, but you just have to find a way to get people to pay attention. Because to me, being a psychic means paying attention, but for all the wrong reasons. Like you learn to watch people, you learn body language, you learn all these cues, but it's not for the right reason. It's not helping anybody except, anyway, I could go on for hours too, but that's pretty much it, right?
We're happy to talk to you guys individually if you want to, if you have questions.
Yeah, and my cards are on the table with hers as well.
And stickers are also on the table.
Yeah, email us and
Bring it around.
and keep in touch with us, because stuff's happening. You will find that once you get in a grassroots group like this, it grows and grows and grows, and pretty soon you're having so much, and it's so much fun to find like-minded people. Don't ever think that you're, a loner or something, because it's really, and we need this truth, the digging for truth, and that's why what Susan's doing is so powerful, because we're really making a difference. She's making more of a difference than I am, because I'm just a mentalist, but I do try. So anyway, take it, Susan. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thanks for coming, everybody.